beliefs. And then he was found guilty. They sent it to the DOJ. He was sent to prison. He was sent to this prison. That's why I requested Danbury, because there's no difference in his fight than in our fight. I'm a political prisoner of Nancy Pelosi. I'm a political prisoner of Merrick Garland. I'm a political prisoner of Joe Biden and the corrupt Biden establishment. And you saw on Thursday all the lies that they told, right? All the lies they told. Any group that would sit there and lie to you about the shape of the president of the United States with a national security element of that, lied about the 2020 election. They've lied about COVID. They've lied about everything that they've done to the American people, and they're not going to stop. Until we stop them, they're not going to stop. And the way you stop them is you do things that says, hey, if they're going to send me to prison, it's not going to matter if we take this fight and take it up the next level, okay? Anybody from the press have a question? Is that Sarah Murray at CNN? I don't want to talk about my conversations with the president, but I think you can see on his Truth Social, he's very supportive. And remember, the most important thing, that was Sarah Murray, the great CNN reporter. Sarah, the most important thing to remember is President Trump is going to be sentenced to prison on July 11th. Me going here for 4 months is nothing. They're going in a very sham trial, totally illegal. They are going to sentence Donald J. Trump, the greatest president of the 20th and 21st century, to prison in a sham trial in New York on July 11th. So I know he supports this. Okay, it's very important. Sarah Murray asked, well, how can I influence the campaign? How can I do war room? You can't run a business from a federal prison. I have no intention of doing anything in the business, but I have a First Amendment right. I have a First Amendment right to have my voice heard, and my voice is going to be heard every day. And more importantly, their voices are going to be heard, right? You don't need my voice. We're a populist movement. When I say next man up, it's just not our other hosts. It's just not Congressman Green and Matt Gaetz and all the people that support the show. It's all these people. These are our co-hosts, right? That's why this is only going to get bigger. It's Nancy Pelosi and Merrick Garland that made me a martyr, right? But martyrs die, and I'm far from dead, baby. And this right here grows every day. Any other questions?
Father Robinson, see New Jersey when churches were shut down because of COVID. So here's some a person, and guess what? He also became an American citizen in 2018.
By the way, thank you. I am going to prison. I'm proud of going to prison. I am proud of going to prison today. I am proud to go to prison. If this is what it takes to stand up to tyranny, if this is what it takes to stand up to the Garland, corrupt, criminal DOJ, if this is what it takes to stand up to Nancy Pelosi, if this is what it takes to stand up to Joe Biden, I'm proud to do it.
Bravo.
Father, can you say a few words?
I'm not authorized to talk to the media.
You're not?
No.
Well, thank you for coming.
I agree with your positions, and I'll be praying for you. I'm in the St. Ignatius Retreat House, 15 minutes away.
You are?
Yeah, I'll get you whatever you need.
Father, don't pray for me. Pray for our enemies, right? Pray. They're the ones who are going to need the prayers. Thank you, Father.
Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and the snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all evil spirits who wander through the world seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. Ave Maria Purissima. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. Appreciate it. How you doing? Thanks for coming. You read all the trials, weren't you? You're from CBS News, ABC. You see, we have a representative ABC. Did you like the way I bench pressed Jonathan Karl yesterday? Did you like the Jonathan Karl interview?
This is epic, historic right here. If you don't think we're in a communist regime where people arrest and imprison their political opponents,
do I have any regrets? Right, ABC News just says I have not only no regrets, I'm actually proud of what I did, and I felt terrible if I didn't do it. Yeah. I don't mind going to prison today, particularly if Congressman Green and Matt Gaetz and Anna Paulina Luna and other warriors in the House turn the focus on Nancy Pelosi. The J6 committee was completely illegitimate and set up. It's the reason it didn't have the impact of Watergate. It didn't have the impact of Iran-Contra because you had no ranking member, no minority counsel. They couldn't see the evidence, and they couldn't cross-examine witnesses. We need to reconstitute the J6 committee today, and we need to do it in the proper way. The Democrats should have a ranking member. The Democrats should have a minority counsel. It could be Goldman, it could be anybody. We need to get the evidence because I'm going to tell you, when we investigate J6, you're going to see that Donald John Trump was not just completely innocent. He was the one individual that wanted to protect the Capitol and wanted to protect Washington, D.C. You're also going to find out what is the federal government's involvement in this. DHS, FBI, Department of Justice.
So many confidential sources and FBI agents, they lost count. The FBI lost count of how many they had.
And let the Democrats have a ranking member. Let them have a minority counsel. Let them cross-examine the witnesses. Let them cross-examine Ray. Let them cross-examine Bill Barr. Let them cross-examine the people that were doing the Secretary of Defense. Let the American people need that truth. If it takes me going to prison to get that, I would do that any day of the week, and that's what we're trying to drive here. Councilor Green, some thoughts?
No, I totally agree with what Steve just said. That it's the lack of action in the Republican-controlled House that has been the problem all along. The fact that Steve did not obey that congressional subpoena was the right
thing. We're the white cube microphone, so she's not getting it.
Legitimate from the beginning. Nancy Pelosi broke her entire House rules. She broke her House rules when she created that committee. And then look at the two-tier justice system. She prosecutes Steve Bannon. They prosecute Steve Bannon. They prosecute Peter Navarro. But yet, who do they not prosecute? Others that they subpoenaed. Why pick two and not prosecute others that were subpoenaed for Congress? That makes no sense whatsoever. And then they're not prosecuting Merrick Garland.
Here's the bet that Nancy Pelosi and Merrick Garland, the Biden regime, has made. They think by prosecuting me, they're going to shut down one of the top advocates for President Trump. They think they're going to say any chance of me working on the campaign. They think they're going to shut down the war room as this massive platform for MAGA. You see this right here? They're never going to shut it down. They're only making it bigger. These people aren't going to be shut down. The American people have learned one thing. When their voice is heard, change happens. And that is what the war room's all about. It's only going to get bigger. So Nancy Pelosi bet the wrong way. The show's only going to get bigger. My message is only going to get bigger. The platform's only going to get bigger. So I'm proud. If it takes prison to show the American people that they're prepared to put, in the first time in history, one of the largest hosts of one of the largest shows in the nation, that the line we've crossed right now, and if we don't stop it right here and right now, it's going to continue. So we got to stop it, and it's not going to stop until we stop it.
We have a question for Nancy.
No,
in the mic. Make sure you're sticking in the mic. Are you ready? This exists outside. Are you personally prepared for?
I was on a destroyer for 4 years in the Navy. I am prepared for whatever prison has, right? Our prisons are run very well. The Bureau of Prisons does a great job. I'm prepared to do this. Whatever task I'm totally prepared, mentally, physically, everything for prison. I do it with gratitude to these people. If Nancy Pelosi and Merrick Garland are going to think that Steve Bannon and this little podcast is done from a basement in Washington, D.C. is so important that they will do something they've never done before and put a voice that supports an opposition to them in the run-up to the election. If they think that's big a deal, I will do that gladly. And whatever prison holds, prison holds. And look, I went to a military school. I served in the Navy. I've done the war room, so I'm prepared mentally and physically to go. But what's most important is that these people are empowered. If my going to prison empowers these people, I'll do it every day of the week.
Amen, brother.
Well, first, the question is, how am I going to be heard every day? It's very simple. You know how I'm going to be heard every day? These people right here and our host. The show's not going to change. Hey, folks, one of the reporters wants to know, how am I going to be heard every day? And I say, it's you.
That's right.
We're
It just magnified us.
We're a populist movement.
The people
President Trump,
ready.
they're going to put in prison. Steve Bannon's going
We
to
are
prison
ready.
in a few minutes. Alex
Stephen K.
Jones, they're
Bannon.
trying to liquidate. The Gateway pundit, they're trying to put in bankruptcy. It's next man up. They can't stop this. This
Next
is our
man up.
power. Our power is right here. Our power is an informed and empowered American people. It doesn't matter about me. It doesn't matter about me. It doesn't matter about anybody else. They're going to try to imprison President Trump. It's next man up. What the ruling class in this country has to understand, there's nobody they can imprison. There's nobody they can assassinate. There's nobody they can bankrupt. There's nobody they can deplatform to stop the MAGA movement. MAGA's on the rise. Look what happened in France yesterday.
MAGA's
Right?
ascendant.
The people of France started to take back their own country from the globalists. In Germany, they're taking back their own country from the globalists.
Royce White in
In
the
England,
background.
Nigel Farage had a rally that was like Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, and you saw Thursday night, what Thursday night showed you, the same people that lied about the 2020 election, right? Lied about Biden, would lie for 4 years and hide that. And that was on CNN and Living Color. We saw exactly what it was. So no, they're going to hear my voice every day.
You have a message for former President Trump.
For former President Trump, my message, thank you. What outlet are you with? CNN? I have two. I'm going to get two. The message of President Trump is very simple. Fight on. If we don't stop, if President Trump continues to fight, victory is going to be ours. We're going to win in a landslide. We're going to pick up the Senate with 55 seats. We're going to pick up 5 seats in the House. We could win in a landslide. Remember, if he doesn't quit, they don't win. President Trump's on the path to victory. And you saw last night on CNN in all its glory what they have hit, and he was a hero for doing that. He shouldn't have debated Biden until September or October. He did it for the country to be able to expose, and took all the rules that CNN gave, right? Every rule, and I disagreed with that, and I told him that. He did that. He did that for the country. And he wanted to expose the lies of the ruling elite in this country. You have a cadaver in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue that is now a national security threat. Don't ask me. Ask Zelensky how he felt after that debacle, right? Ask Jerusalem what they felt about the debate with Netanyahu. Ask the people in
That's
Taipei
Zelensky right
what
there.
they felt after that debate. Trump did that to expose the lies of the ruling class of this country. And that, my only advice to him is fight as hard as you fight every day, and victory is going to be ours. Excuse me?
What advice did Trump have for you?
I think he said today, just keep doing what you're doing. They're not going to shut down our voice. President Trump, you can see by the rally speeches, you can see what's on War Room. The War Room is the platform for the Trump movement, okay? The War Room is the platform for the MAGA movement. So President Trump's message to me is the exact same. Just continue to fight on. Should we go ahead and bounce? What time is it?
If you want to do 10 more minutes,
Okay.
we can bounce.
Any other?
What's your opinion on the SCOTUS decision?
Hey, hang on. Where are you from? NBC? Do you like my Vaughn? I bench press Vaughn Hilliard too. So I bench press Jonathan Karl and I bench press Vaughn Hilliard. You're a brave man. We love MSNBC. The Supreme Court, if you look at the last 90 hours in political history, starting with the debate, that was a debacle for the ruling class. If you look at the overturn of the Fisher decision, if you look at the killing of the Mac Daddy, the administrative state, which is the Chevron deference.
Chevron deference.
Okay. Then you look at Le Pen's massive victory yesterday in France. Nigel Farage now on the run in England to take over, to destroy the Tory party. If you look at Alternative for Deutschland, 100,000 Antifa have to come out to shut down their country in Germany because they're leading all throughout the world. And that's all like Brexit was in 16. That's all a predicate for 2024. And then this morning, the Supreme Court in a 6-3, it's a massive decision. And most importantly, it proves that Jack Smith, this is a rigged game. You've had the Supreme Court of the United States 9-0 about should President Trump be on the ballot. What is it, 6-3 with Justice Brown Jackson joining us, right? Brown Jackson joining us on Friday and overturn of Fisher. And people in the Justice Department, and quite frankly, people like Andrew Weissman should be investigated and go to prison of putting innocent Americans in jail right now for felonies. And then today, the massive 6-3 win on immunity. And of course, they're going to fight that. But this is just immunity. You got to absolute immunity. So for NBC News, it's quite simple. We're winning everywhere, right? And we're going to win more. This has just started. In the last 90 hours has been historic about the right wing, not just in the United States, but throughout the world. Bernie, come here. You guys want to come and say something? You're good? By the way, I want to introduce, I got Bernie Carrick here. I got Eric Prince, my buddy. I got Mo Bannon, my daughter. She'll take over. She'll be the CEO of War Room. Hold it.
Mo Bannon, Captain Mo.
Royce White, our Senate candidate. Royce, come here.
Royce White, I knew I saw him in the background.
Love you, brother.
Royce White is the Republican nominated candidate in Minnesota running against Klobuchar, another neoliberal neocon.
We won't take a single back step. That's the bottom line. You can throw him in jail all you want to, but we will not take a single back step. We understand the threat of communism. We can read.
Amen.
We have computers. Black people are waking up to it. You're praying that we don't wake up to it, but I'll see to it that they will. We will not take a single back step. We love this man right here. He's an American hero. It's a shame that you let this happen. And they're coming for you next. You better understand that. You can cheer now. These idiots back here can cheer now. But when the gulag opens up, all of you will be in it next. Understand that. God bless America. Love you, brother. Love you, man.
Hold it. Royce White is running in Minnesota on Thursday, the Declaration of Independence, July 4th. Where are you going to be, Royce?
The heart of corruption. The Federal Reserve. You all know how the money works? I'm sure you all know how the money works. You don't like Steve because he knows how the money works. A man who went to Harvard, who was in the Navy and who worked on Wall Street is never supposed to talk about how the system actually works. All of you know. You know what it is to be a wage slave. You know what it is to be a serf. You know you're being crushed. And yet you peddle the narrative anyway. It's disgusting.
Why on July 4th, why are you leading, you're running a campaign, why are you leading a march like you did during the situation in Minneapolis in June of 2020? Why you led a march to the Federal Reserve? Why are you going to do it now?
After George Floyd died, the focus was on police. The focus should not be on police. The global corporate community is stealing from the American people. They're getting wise to it. The Federal Reserve is the heart of the corruption. That's the bottom line. The Federal Reserve is the heart of the way the whole thing works. And we're going to go march back there where it all started on July 4th.
All right. In the Fed. Eric, just get up here for a second. Eric Prince, when President Trump wins again, how important it is for us to go after the deep state? And I mean criminal investigations, to break it up. Now that we got the Chevron deference, that starts to break apart the administrative state. But the deep state, the one that stole President Trump's first term, the one that helped steal President Trump's second victory, what do we have to do?
Elections must have consequences. The real constitutional crisis is we're supposed to have 3 branches of government. We have 4. The 4th must be accountable to the American people. Enough of the permanent bureaucracy. It's why we're failing. It's why America's standing around the world is collapsing. It's why every foreigner I encounter asks, please get Trump back in office. America can't stand any more of this insanity.
The
And I would also say we turn my friend Steve Bannon over to the guards at the prison here. We will be here in 4 months to collect him in good health, maybe a little thinner and in better shape. But we expect that they take good care of him, or there'll be accountability for that as well.
What do you recommend we do with the FBI, DOJ, the CIA, DNI, all of it on the afternoon of 20 January 2025?
First
what
of
does President
all,
Trump have to do?
It's the power of the purse. All those hyper bloated organizations need to go on a severe diet. They do a lot of really stupid things. They will be less stupid inevitably if they are smaller.
Amen.
So you're saying break them up. You agree with that?
Yeah, totally agree.
Jump up here. Tell us what Eric. What is Eric talking about?
Thank you very much, Eric. And that there's been a message sent. Steve will be fine for 4 months, and thank you for that. And Eric is absolutely right, everyone. The American government is overgrown. It's turned into a monster,
Leviathan.
and the American people are having to pay for it all, to the point they're over $34.5 trillion in debt. This is unsustainable, no matter how you vote, Republican or Democrat. And Americans need to say enough of it. We've got to shrink down the federal government. We need to slash down the giant agencies. We need to reduce it down and get control of its power. It's totally out of control. And that is absolutely the message that Americans say every single day on streets everywhere. I'd like to go back to Nancy Pelosi, Steve, if I may. You know, everyone needs to ask Nancy Pelosi, why wasn't the National Guard at the Capitol on January 6th?
Amen.
She is responsible as Speaker of the House for the security of the Capitol. I was a brand new member of Congress. I'd only been there 3 days. 3 days. I could have been killed because of Nancy Pelosi. She did not secure the Capitol for anyone, but she made sure that she's always protected with armed guards with guns, while her and her party work hard to take the Second Amendment rights and guns away from Americans. This is who the Democrats are. They're the party that wants to take away your security while they keep it for themselves. They're the party that will bring in the National Guard by 30,000 after January 6th to tell America that they have taken over the federal government. That's who the Democrats are. They're the party that will shut you down and take away your First Amendment, destroy your small business, take away your children's education, and force you to stay in your homes, all for tyranny so they can control all of it and affect an election. The Democrats are the party covering up a president with dementia. And they've been covering it up.
Yes.
They have all known that Joe Biden has had dementia since 2019. And they have lied and lied and lied to your face. And then they dare call President Trump a liar. They stand behind a man that has no clue what he's saying, what he's doing, and he has the nuclear codes. They stand behind that. And then they sit there and accuse President Trump of a lying, and America knows he's telling the truth, and they agree with President Trump, and that needs to be said more and more. President Trump is telling the truth, and it's the Democrats who are the liars.
Amen. I see all the Lao Beijing here, okay? Not one. Take down the CCP! Take down the CCP! Take down the CCP! Take down. This show's not going to back off. This show's not going to back off 1 foot from taking down the Chinese Communist Party and having the brave people and the noble people in China's back. The Lao Beijing will eventually run and rule China like they should have. Take down the CCP! Take down the CCP! Take down the CCP! Okay, we're going to wrap up here for a second. I'm going to pass the baton over to the team at the War. Mo, the CEO, you got a few words to say?
Yeah. You guys on the left think by putting him in there, you're going to silence him. Steve Bannon's voice will not be silenced while he's in there, and War Room will not be silenced.
All right. Whoa. Okay, I want to thank Real America's Voice. I want to thank all the media for coming out here today, including I tell you, if this is a lesson that we can help CNN and NBC and ABC News, you know, our brethren over there, they're a little misguided. This in Fox News, the Murdochs, this is just a step that we make in that direction, okay? Rob Sigg, Parker Sigg, Brian Glenn, our great reporter, Harry, the production team. Want to thank everybody that did this. We're going to pass it back to the studio. Remember, just two things: victory or death. And what I mean by that, we either win or you're going to have the death of a constitutional republic. It's next man up. Everybody here, you've got to step into the breach. Everybody in the home audience has got to step into the breach. I'm going to be here, but my voice is not going to be silent. And the reason it's not is because of you. Okay.
I want to give you a blessing before you go in. Bow your head and pray for God's blessing. Pax et benedictio Deo omnipotentis, Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti, descendat super vos et maniat semper. Amen.
Amen.
Bless you. I'm at your service.
Thank you, Father. Appreciate it. Victory or death. We'll turn it back over to Real American Voice. It's time for me to surrender up at Danbury.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
I hope you don't go next into prison. Keep it up.
Godspeed, Patriot.
Father, I'll text you. I'll call you. We'll see you. Susan. Yeah, I will.
We found out smart thermostats have microphones in them.
Fight hard.
Guys, take a step back.
Watch out.
Clear the way, guys. 2020 stand up. Payback to bitch.
You okay?
Enjoy the toilet wine.
Enjoy your toilet wine, Steve Bannon. They laugh as people are sent to prison. They laugh as people are sent to prison for misdemeanors. Sent to prison for misdemeanors. Politicized, political torture. And people laugh. These people are sick folks.
No, it's a great day.
I wanted to see him get perp walked. They gotta have a video of him getting perp walked, right? What's he a traitor to? He did the same thing Alejandro Mayorkas did. Did the same thing Hunter Biden did. Why aren't they going after those two? Oh, because they're not told to by Facebook and Instagram. Modern day holy war. Someone put a flower under the windshield wiper. This is historical. It's a historical day, a historical moment right now. Steve Bannon going to prison for a misdemeanor. Peter Navarro is already in prison for a misdemeanor.
things you wouldn't believe. Mind can't conceive will probably make you break down. You wanna cry, don't you wanna know how to stop the flow of evil so blatant and running rampant in a modern world? There's some answers to these problems if you want to solve them.
Thank you to the police, man. This place is secure. Very good.
In a modern day, holy war, holy, what I'm waiting for.
Wow.
All the people that have gone out there against the mainstream media and said, you're going to call us racist, you're going to call us potential Timothy McVeigh's. You. War.
Do you owe over $10,000 in back taxes? Kevin Sorbo here.
Kevin Sorbo, Hercules himself, likes America first, folks. But we're going to keep that rolling. I'm going to keep an eye on it, see what happens next. I was hoping they'd get some footage of him perp walking. That would be so valuable. No, this isn't perp walking right here. This is Volodymyr Zelensky. Volodymyr Zelensky's. You gave him over $200 billion of your hard-earned tax-paying money. That money didn't go to public schools to help teachers, American teachers. It didn't go to fix roads and potholes and fix bridges, which you notice a lot are kind of collapsing, bridges and dams. You ever notice that? To fix railroads, because you notice how there's train derailments all the time, every day almost. None of the money went to help you. If we didn't have that $200 billion, we could just stop taxes. If we didn't spend that on to give it to this cross-dresser, this tranny, Volodymyr Zelensky, the tranny, to kill his own countrymen, we wouldn't have taxes. We wouldn't have a need for taxes if we didn't, kill everybody around the world. What are Zelensky's qualifications? Anybody? Well, he was a comedian by trade, a stand-up comic, a dancer. He starred in a sitcom in Ukraine where he played the president of Ukraine. That's it. That's his qualifications. And that's why he was installed, completely controllable. Now this little tranny midget is taking all of your tax money. Imagine that. Imagine that reality. Imagine you live in that world.
About how much and to what extent. But what we do know is that this case is now going to go back to the lower court for further
Presidents, what the Supreme Court just ruled is presidents are immune, have presidential immunity for official acts. Now it has to go back to the lower court. So, okay, what's an official act? I think, and I don't know law that well, okay, but I think for senators and congressmen, it means one thing, but for a president of the United States, it means a different thing. Presidential immunity, every act he does within those 4 years or 8 years is official duty. For a president, everything is official. Taking a shit's an official duty. Official duty. Dang it, I wish I did that on purpose and didn't laugh. That was accidental, but great. So that's amazing. Yeah, sorry I had to step out. I had to jump on the dirt bike and go to the store real quick. But man, I haven't rode that dirt bike in forever. It's I didn't miss any gears, but I stalled it once leaving the gas station. But man, the feeling, I miss it. But yeah, this is Zelensky. This is who's asking the world to give him money so that he could kill his citizens. So NATO could kill his citizens. All the people that wore Ukraine flags on their lapels, all the people who put Ukraine flags on their Facebook page, you're almost hopeless. You need to wake up. Start looking at data. Your emotions are important. I'll grant you that. Emotions are important. But they're not the only thing. Your skin color and who you sleep with are important factors of a human. But not the most important. Maybe not even in the top 10. Facts are important. Facts are very important. Dang it, man. Computer, do what I want you to do.
Because I'm still working every day to elect President Trump and MAGA candidates all over. And also they can't shut down my First Amendment rights. I can't run a business. I'm not going to run a business, but they're not going to shut down my First Amendment rights. I'm going to tell Merrick Garland every day that he's corrupt. On January 20th, he and Lisa Monaco are going to start the investigation. They're going to start every day.
Yep.
So we're not stopping.
Hey everybody, Charlie Kirk here. I'm thrilled to announce my new book, Right Wing Revolution, that you should learn about.
I like Charlie Kirk. He's hard to stomach sometimes, but maybe I'm hard to stomach. Who knows? But he believes in what he says. I do like that. But all these little Bolsheviks running around, these little Bolsheviks draped in the trans flag, laughing about the installation of communism. Destruction is your end. That's the only thing that happens to the useful idiots, the foot soldiers. That's the only thing that happens throughout all of history. You get lined up on the wall. You get destroyed. Once your usefulness is over and the regime has its power, they don't love you. How do these trans flags, how do these BLTs, I'm hungry. How do these BLMs, how do these Antifas, these trans flag Antifa folk, imagine, how do they believe that a corporation loves them? That a corporation is looking out for their health and benefit? How do they convince themselves of that? Doesn't make sense, right? Zach De La Rocha, Rage Against the Machine. He's now a whore for pharma. He's a pharma whore. Zach De La Rocha is now raging on behalf of the machine, pushing these vaccines that can no longer be called vaccines. The ninth district appeals court said these bioweapons can no longer be called vaccines. They didn't call them bioweapons, but they are. They're delivery devices that make your own body produce a bioweapon, a gain of function bioweapon, lipid nanoparticle spike protein with a furin cleavage site. Makes your body produce that, and the byproduct, and you produce trillions of these spike proteins. And the byproduct is turbo cancer, is genital cancer, gonads, brain cancer, bone cancer, blood cancer, and all the other ones you heard, myocarditis, pericarditis. That's the side effect of your body mass producing this bioweapon that Zach De La Rocha is a whore for. Imagine that. You're listening to Rage Against the Machine in the 90s. Fast forward to 2022. And moving on, 2020, moving on. And now Zach De La Rocha is a whore for big pharma, is on the side of government. How can you rage against the machine if Big Pharma is funding you, if the government is funding you? How are you the resistance? You're not. You're the Federation. You're the evil bad guys in all the movies. The trans flag people, BLM, and Antifa are the bad guys in every single movie in history. They're the ones you do not root for in every movie. They're the oppressing Leviathan. Just imagine that. And they still think they're good. And they think it's normal to be funded by the government and still be the rebels. Just imagine that. Imagine the cognitive dissonance it takes for these people to really believe that they're the underdogs. They're the minority. 0.007% being propped up like they're the main voice by the corporations and the state. That's called fascism. And these people really believe they're special because they're getting money from the government to fund their cause. That's the opposite of a rebel. That's the opposite of an underdog. If you're funded by the state and the corporation, that makes you the fascist. Simple as that. Simple as that. MAGA, American First, grassroots, small donations. Annexed and canceled and exiled from all major platforms. We started our own. Truth Social, Rumble, Getter, just to name a few. We started our own parallel economy. You guys said, the left said, you don't like being canceled off our network for your freedom of speech? Make your own. We're like, okay, fuck you. We made our own. And it's growing bigger and bigger every day. Some people like free speech. Some people like safe zones. And it's weird. I'll bet you there's a correlation, a 1-to-1 correlation. In Nazi Germany, I'll bet you most of the Nazis liked safe zones. I'll bet you they didn't like free speech. I'll bet you they were anti-free speech. Well, we know they were. They were into propaganda. That Goebbels, they were into propaganda. So communist fascists love safe zones, hate free speech. Wokeism and communism have a 1-to-1 relationship. So Steve Bannon's in prison right now. 4 months. Just till the election's over. No big deal. There's no conspiracies. There's no coincidences. Just Steve Bannon's going to be in prison just for the election season, just till the 2024 election's over. There's nothing to see here. Wake up, folks. Once they're done with us, they're coming for you. That's what you always forget. All right, folks, we'll see you next time. I got to get out and mow this dang lawn. We love you. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch you next time.